In this video, we're going to discuss the range rule of thumb. All right, this is the range rule of thumb. For many is the keyword, not all. Okay, so for many data sets, a vast majority of the sample lies within 2 standard deviations of the mean. Okay, so that's what the range rule of thumb is. If I were to draw that out to make it maybe a little more clear, so say this is the distribution of our data. Okay, so this is the distribution of our data. All right, so here is, maybe here's the mean. So here's the mean. If I were to go 2 standard deviations in this direction, and then 2 standard deviations in that direction, all right, the vast majority of the data would lie within. All right, so the vast majority of the data lies within 2 standard deviations in front of and behind the mean. Okay, so we define the maximum usual value. Right? So to be right here, we stop here. The maximum usual value would be the mean, okay, plus 2 standard deviations. Right? So you can observe values that are beyond the 2 standard deviations away from the mean. There are certainly observations that are over here. There's some probability associated with getting observations that are up much higher than the maximum usual value. However, they're just uncommon, right? The probability of observing values in the tail of the distribution is rather small. Okay, so now to calculate the minimum usual value, that'd be the sample mean minus 2 standard deviations. That'll get us to the stopping point here. Okay, so the sample mean minus 2 times the standard deviation. All right, so let's go ahead and do an example where we have to calculate we have to use the rule of thumb to determine the minimum and maximum usual values. All right, so we have a sample of 50 college students. Found that their average age is 23 years old with a standard deviation of 3.2 years. A 16-year-old student is a 16-year-old student considered to be an unusual age student. Right? So let's find, we could actually just find the minimum usual value because this is below the mean, right? But let's go ahead and find the min and the maximum usual value. So reading this, the average of the sample is 23. So the sample average is 23. That's x bar. And S, the sample standard deviation, is 3.2. Okay. So then the max usual value will be 23 plus 2 times 3.2. Okay, the mean plus 2 standard deviations, 2 standard deviations. So that would be 23 plus, let's see, that'd be 6.4. Okay, so that would be 29.4. So then let's calculate the min usual value. So this would be 23 minus 2 standard deviations. So 23 minus 6.4. Okay, so that would be, let's see, 16.6. All right, so 16.6. So the usual values then, so all the usual values are between 16.6 and 29.4. So all the usual values are in this interval. Is the 16-year-old student inside that usual value interval? No, right? They're outside of that interval, right? So the 16-year-old student is considered an unusual age student. So the answer to this is yes.